Hello Groovy Gang and General Grooves, today I want to make another update video on GWSN's situation as of mid-2022 and all the shit that has happened since I last briefly covered the situation. I recommend, if you have not yet, watching Jihoon's Carrots video on the overall situation with GWSN from debut to very recently, or if you don't have time the last couple of videos I made on this situation which are more brief if you want to get up to the situation now. It feels like everything is constantly escalating and more questions are coming up about the state of the company or what is going on with GWSN and how many things are there that they can't tell us about. I also want to note before we get into this that this is not a signal for Grooves to give up hope. Now more than ever we need to stay strong for GWSN in the face of a very scary and uncertain future. I truly do not think they would give up, and the fact they have not yet after so long makes me confident, but I do encourage Grooves to stay strong and show their love and support for the members as much as we can, so hopefully we can get through this hiatus and come out well. Now with that done, let's get on with the video. A very important thing that I think needs to be established first in all of this is a movie called The Killer. For those who don't know, An is the female lead in the movie The Killer, starring Jang Hyuk. She was cast during promotions for The Other Side of the Moon, and principal photography for the movie began 2 days after those promotions ended. An important note about the film is that it is produced by the company Ascendio, which GWSN's company The Wave Music is possibly still linked to. In all honesty, I don't know, nobody fucking knows if The Wave Music is a sub-label of Ascendio or if they split and are separate companies or what, but the essential part is Ascendio is linked to GWSN. The first trailer for the movie was released on the 14th of April, on which the same day An posted on GWSN's official SNS completely unrelated to the movie or the trailer. It is seemingly a high-quality and high-budget movie, with a red carpet premiere of the movie being held in Los Angeles on the 20th of June. On the 4th of June, after the announcement of the premiere, a fan asked whether An would be attending on the movie's official Instagram account, to which they replied they had not received news on whether she would be attending. 4 days later, on the 8th of June, an online production report for the movie was held, where An, Jang Hyuk, and the movie's director Choi Jae-hoon appeared, which An posted about on GWSN's official SNS. The same day, another fan asked on the official movie Instagram account whether An would be attending the red carpet premiere on the 20th, to which the account replied she would in fact not be attending, and that they were not given details as to why. There could be many reasons for this. They may have only wanted Jang Hyuk to attend, or An somehow did not have a clear schedule despite GWSN doing literally nothing for almost a year, or they did not have the money to send her to the premiere, which again does not make sense since the movie is made by Ascendio, who should still be affiliated with the Wave Music and GWSN. So if they have the money to hold the movie premiere, how do they not have the money to send their own actress to it? An later appeared in more online promotions with Jang Hyuk for the movie on the day of the premiere, obviously pre-recorded since he was at the premiere, but An did not post anything on official GWSN SNS regarding the movie, her promotions, or even something completely unrelated like she did the day of the trailer was released. During this time, official GWSN SNS have not shared a single thing about the movie's release, even though one of their members is the lead actress. Near the end of 2021 they posted notices for when episodes of An's online series, Some Air, would be released, but for this they have not shared a single notice since she was cast. This may be fairly difficult to explain, so I recommend you look at the thread I created mapping out GWSN's content over the past year that is linked in the description. I really think it's an eye-opener to just how bad the content situation has gotten. As previously mentioned, the posting gaps began in November 2021 and slowly the gaps have been getting longer and longer to a point where as of the making of this video, which is the 22nd of June, they have not posted since the 13th. That's a long fucking time. Grooves like me are often worried that these SNS posts will stop completely, considering it is the only real GWSN content we are getting anymore, and of course we have been given no explanation for why there are post gaps and what the actual fuck is going on. Most of these posts are of GWSN out on trips, or just enjoying leisure time, but noticeably they have not been shown at the company for a while. This again is strange, since the Wave Music is pretty much confirmed to be in the Ascendio building, and that building must still be open if there have been staff working on An's movie and then the promotions for it, so either the Wave Music section of the building has been abandoned or repurposed, or GWSN simply have no reason to show up at the company anymore since their schedules are completely clear. Grooves have also noticed that simple things such as the special photos posted for members' birthdays have become increasingly lower quality, and Grooves have speculated that it was a manager or the members themselves making these photos as they have no social media manager or photo editor to make them. Another note, I'm not entirely sure how much this would count towards anything, but I've noticed that since the posting gaps started, GWSN have been been posting later at night. When we got regular SNS posts, they were usually posted before I woke up, which would be about 5 p.m. KST, but since the post gaps started, they in general have been posting closer to midnight KST. Again, I'm not sure how much it counts towards anything, but I thought it might be worth noting. So there is still not much sign of So-So. All we know is that she must still be in Korea. She is simply not posting herself or showing up in any GWSN-related activities, however small they may be. In January, GWSN went to see and take photos with a bunch of station ads that Gwsn won for them through an app called Stan World. However, So-So did not appear in any of these photos, and I believe a Gwsn who spotted them taking photos of these ads did not see her with them and their manager. Later, in March, after her birthday, where she posted a handwritten letter with no selfie or any sort of photo of herself, Gwsn once again got her a late birthday station ad through Stan World, which happened to run at the same time as Dreamcatcher's Handong's birthday. Handong, who is friends with So-So, spotted this ad, and shared that she messaged So-So about seeing the ad, and she said So-So replied saying she wanted to go and see the ad herself and asked where it was. However, we never received photos of So-So with the ad. In April, So-So was also spotted in photos with non-idol friends, with a different hairstyle to what we had last seen her with, but we have never seen recent photos of So-So on GWSN's official SNS. So-So only ever appears on GWSN's SNS in OT7 posts. For example, on the 5th of May, Children's Day in Korea, each member posted photos of themselves from their childhood, including So-So. She only appears on GWSN's SNS for special occasions, and never posts generally, but all the signs point to her still being in Korea and still being with GWSN, and she is not on any sort of hiatus. The company has not given an update about her since the third anniversary in September, so it is unknown if the health issues that caused her to miss schedule back then are still going on, or if she has recovered but for some reason is not posting along with the other members. Mnet has a new show stage concept thing called Road to Max, which gives less popular K-pop artists who typically don't win on M Countdown or music shows the chance to perform a special stage on M Countdown or the MAMA Awards. I'm honestly not sure, it sounded kind of complicated for my tiny brain to understand, but Gwsn naturally thought this was the perfect opportunity to get GWSN to perform again in about a year. So Gwsn nominated GWSN and miraculously they made it to the final 6 nominees for the first generation. During the voting process, which took place on the Mnet community site, Mnet posted things for the nominees like graphic design templates and general promotional things on the Road to Max Twitter account for the fans to use to get people to vote for the group, but overall it seemed like the artists themselves were not involved in this process. On the 23rd of May, the Road to Max Twitter account posted a special message from each of the nominees, whether it was an exclusive photo, an audio message, video message or even old photos from promotional eras. At the same time, something from each nominee was posted on the Road to Max account. Apart from GWSN, they sent nothing. Mnet didn't even make it up with one of their stage photos. There was no tweet at that time to do with GWSN. It was like they weren't even nominated. Fans for months have been emailing the Wave Music, mentioning and messaging them on Twitter and Instagram, desperately trying to get a response, and it seemed like they were simply ignoring fans who expressed their concerns. But now this shows that the company ignored Mnet, the biggest K-pop channel, the channel that gave GWSN a pre-debut reality show. When they approached them with a huge opportunity for GWSN, it doesn't add up. Either there is simply nobody there to read the emails and do anything about them, or it was a deliberate sabotage by the company so GWSN could not be promoted to possibly perform at this show. The latter seems very unlikely, but Mnet never said anything about a response from GWSN, so it isn't certain that they were simply blanked by the Wave Music. GWSN ended up not making the final 3 and were not on the nominee list for the second generation. Another note is that this voting process spread over member Mia's birthday, who appeared at her birthday cafe event and essentially spent some time with Gwsn, who also showed up. I heard that Gwsn may have intended to ask her about Road to Max and whether GWSN even knew they were nominated, but according to Gwsn they were simply too shocked by Mia actually being there that they did not ask. It makes sense, it was her birthday so it wouldn't have been the best idea to ask her about Road to Max or the hiatus or whatever the fuck has been going on for the past year, but that's just something I wanted to mention. Member Seoryoung was credited for writing lyrics for 2 B-sides on the group Trend's latest comeback, along with Swin Lee, who solely produced GWSN's last album The Other Side of the Moon, and Ruddy Miller, who worked on and featured in her solo song Forget Me Not. Trends is a new group under Interpark Music Plus, who also now manages La Boom, whose latest album Blossom was also produced by Swin Lee. GWSN never shared Seoryoung's writing credits on their official SNS, on the day the track list was released or the day of the comeback, and Seoryoung herself never said a word. However, Swin Lee did confirm that Seoryoung was the one who wrote lyrics with him when asked by Gwsn. Something important from the last video was that Swin Lee revealed he was never paid for his work on The Other Side of the Moon by the Wave Music, but I would like to clarify that him and other staff no longer working for the Wave Music has nothing to do with GWSN themselves, and everything is the fault of the company. In the very early hours of Mia's birthday on the 26th of May, Swin Lee posted Instagram stories out with her seemingly live time, so on top of previous posts supporting or praising the GWSN members, this shows that Swin Lee is very close with GWSN, and him not being paid by the company for his work should not be seen as him no longer wanting to work with GWSN. Clearly he does. It's more likely he does not want to work with the company for no pay, or there is nothing for him to work on for them. I do ask that nobody villainizes him or any employees that left the company and spoke out about not being paid. They are workers, they deserve to be paid, and everyone has said the company is completely at fault and they do not have anything against the GWSN members. Nothing is GWSN's fault, nothing is the fans' faults, everything wrong is to do with the company. I think that's most things covered. Thank you for listening, Gwsn, and I hope people are now more aware with the current situation and what certain things might mean. Again, I have links to important information in the description so you can understand more of what has been going on up to this point. I do fear there is not much we can do other than spread awareness and continue to support the members. We just have to be patient and hope that things begin to pick up soon. I know Gwsn are tired and upset, but right now the girls need us. Once again, thank you for watching and goodbye.